Welcome back. I'm glad you're able to continue this journey with me. This lesson, like the rest of this series, is shared with you exclusively by E-studylab, and it forms part of a wider conversation you're having with science itself. In our previous session, we spoke about biology as the study of life in its grandest sense, from forests and oceans all the way down to things invisible to the naked eye. Today, we turn our attention to that invisible world. We move from the big picture into the smallest living unit that carries life within it, the cell. If life were to be compared to a city, then the cell would be its smallest working neighborhood. Every organism you know, whether plant, animal, fungus, or human, is made from cells. Some forms of life consist of a single cell. Others, like you, are built from trillions of them, working silently, constantly, without your awareness, to keep you alive. So, what exactly is a cell? A cell is the most basic unit of life. It is the smallest structure capable of carrying out all the processes we associate with living things: growth, respiration, reproduction, and responses to the environment. Cells follow three guiding ideas, known as the cell theory. All living organisms are made of cells. The cell is the basic building block of life, and all cells come from pre-existing cells. Now, not all cells are built the same way. Some cells are simple. These are called prokaryotic cells. They belong to organisms such as bacteria. These cells are small, straightforward, and efficient, but they have no nucleus. Their genetic material floats freely inside the cell, rather than being enclosed in a compartment. Other cells are far more complex. These are known as eukaryotic cells, and they make up plants, animals, and humans. Eukaryotic cells contain a nucleus, and inside them are specialized compartments called organelles, tiny structures that each perform a different role, much like departments in a busy company. Let's walk through some of these organelles together. At the center of most eukaryotic cells is the nucleus. If the cell were a library, this would be the archive. It stores DNA, the instructions that tell the cell how to grow, function, and reproduce. Everything the cell does is guided, directly or indirectly, by the information stored here. Nearby, you'll find the mitochondria. These are often called the powerhouses of the cell, and for good reason. Mitochondria release energy from food through a process called cellular respiration. In everyday terms, they are the batteries that power life's processes. Muscles contract, nerves fire, cells divide, and all of it runs on energy made inside mitochondria. Then come the ribosomes. These are tiny factories that build proteins. They read instructions from genetic material and translate them into actual structures, enzymes, hormones, and fibers. Without ribosomes, the body could not repair itself, grow, or function. The endoplasmic reticulum, often shortened to ER, works like a transport network. The rough ER, which is dotted with ribosomes, handles protein production. The smooth ER, with no ribosomes attached, helps produce fats and detoxifies harmful substances. Together, they keep the cell organized and supplied. The Golgi apparatus is the packaging center. It modifies proteins and fats, sorts them, packs them into small sacs, and sends them to where they are needed, inside the cell or outside of it. If the ER is a factory line, then the Golgi is the delivery service. You'll also encounter lysosomes, the clean-up crew of the cell. They contain powerful enzymes that digest waste, destroy worn-out parts, and keep the cell healthy by recycling materials. In plant cells, there are two additions worth knowing. First, the cell wall, which gives strength and shape to the cell rather than flexibility. And second, the chloroplast, where photosynthesis happens. Chloroplasts convert light energy into chemical energy, effectively turning sunlight into food. Without chloroplasts, there would be no plants. Without plants, there would be no oxygen. And without oxygen, no animals. So, now we step one level deeper still, past structure, into chemistry. Every living cell is built from molecules, and 4 families of molecules dominate the chemistry of life. The first is carbohydrates. These are energy sources. Glucose fuels cells, starch and glycogen store energy. Cellulose strengthens plant structures. Carbohydrates keep life running and growing. Next come proteins. These are the workhorses of the cell. They form muscle fibers, carry oxygen in blood, act as enzymes, and regulate reactions. When your body heals, it does so by assembling proteins guided by DNA. Then we have lipids. These are fats and oils. They store energy, insulate the body, and form cell membranes. Without lipids, cells would collapse. They are not just fat in the everyday sense. They are essential building materials. Finally, there are nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. These are the instructions of life. DNA stores genetic information. RNA translates those instructions into action. If proteins do the work, DNA writes the rules. And here's the remarkable thing. Everything you've heard in this lesson, cells, organelles, membranes, molecules, is happening inside you right now. Every breath you take depends on mitochondria. Every thought depends on proteins. Every heartbeat is timed by chemistry. Before we close this lesson, I want you to try something small and reflective. Hold your hand in front of you. Look at it. Then remember that beneath the skin, within every millimeter, live millions of cells, flowing, reacting, repairing, working for you without rest. Life is not something that happens to you. It is something that is happening inside you. You may be surprised how much meaning is hidden in that quiet moment. A reminder that this lesson is protected by copyright and is owned by E-studylab. In our next session, we'll step away from individual cells and begin exploring how life behaves in groups, in environments, ecosystems, and delicate balances between living things and the world they inhabit.